not necessarily about the win today. Is it about not losing to these crosstown rivals? Both teams playing out of Melbourne. Juggernaut in the pink, Chile in the black. Wilson, Strong, Phillip. Not much happening downfield. Eriksson, Menzies going. Puts the long shot up, looking down the line to Luke Doyle. Puts it in his lap. First point to Juggernaut. And the theme this weekend, Andy, is I think it's happened every morning now. Teams have started just playing before the time goes.
Yeah, they're keeping us on our toes. I wouldn't have called either of these teams punctual, so I didn't expect them to start on time, let alone before time. But that is the first point in the book. It's a hold from Jugger.
Yeah, scheduled for 9 a.m. local time, and Paul's going out at 8:59.
I think they've got the beers in the esky ready to go. I think they're pretty keen to get this one done, but it's a good way to put it. It's not necessarily about winning. It's just about not losing.
I think the story of today is going to be about the D lines, Andrew. We saw O lines yesterday for both teams struggle to get it done in the windy conditions, and D lines were having to do shouldering the scoring load. But today conditions significantly less windy than yesterday, not to say not windy. We do have a cross breeze coming top to bottom. I'd say 10-ish k an hour, so enough to make you think about your throw, but not really affected if you do it properly. Chile's first look at offense. Regaki, Wood, horizontal stack, French free in the middle. Shots going long here now. Searching out James French. He's got Lockie Eichner with him. Eichner goes into him. That'll be a foul call. Eichner made a good contest of it, but quite a heavy collision there.
Yeah, it did make contact in the contest, so I wouldn't be surprised if this one gets accepted.
I think the chat, Eichner might have been, so I've held my line, and he thinks French might have changed direction at the last moment, which made them come together. But
yeah, so we do have the game advisors. I reckon this one will stay on the line. It will. So accepted foul. Probably the right outcome, I reckon.
So French right on the goal line for Chile. He's got Osmond high side. He's got Christie in the end zone with him. Finds
Mark the Sharks.
Evans goes backwards out of reach of Bragaki. That's the first turnover.
Send him back to Texas or wherever he came from. Here we go.
Della primed to shoot. Head centre field to Eichner. Eichner to Frey. He's got a couple of options through the middle. Pretty crowded space. Castriano. Della. He's got Dew heading deep. He's got Tran heading deep. Della points, shoots. And Riley Wood takes the inside line, gets to the head of Kelvin Dew for a block back the other way.
Yeah, and Simon, you called it off the top. The D lines are going to get going. I think we can all but say both O lines are going to get broken.
Yeah.
The breaks are going to come. This is going to be a contest defined by its defensive intensity.
And also the conversions when the defense is playing offense.
Yeah.
So Riley Wood to start play for Chile, 64 from goal. Evans. He's got Regaki coming under. He's got French deep. Flash cut there from Osmond.
It's a good cut.
Lipari. Not much happening downfield. He has to wait for cuts to unfold. He shot for Riley Wood. And Woods reeled that in. Perfectly weighted throw from Lipari there. Out to the advantage of the cutter. And Wood started that cut from the handler space.
Behind the handler, yep.
Caught the defense unaware.
He's got a bit of toe. It was rapid.
So I do that once or twice in the semi-final yesterday. Start in the handler space and then take off deep. And sometimes when a handler starts to make that move, Andrew, the defender thinks, oh, he'll come back and then can stay half a step behind.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that you'd want to adjust if you're Juggernaut is when that cut does develop behind the cut, it means they have to run past the stack. So a little bit of awareness from the defence to take a switch.
Yeah.
That probably helps some of that coverage a little bit. So I think it may have been Eichner in that point. Like if you can see that open option coming towards you, just take the switch, allow your teammate to take an under.
So 1-1 the score, 1 hold each. The wind's not providing advantage to either end, so I wouldn't say we've got an upwind, downwind advantage here. But throws heading from top to bottom of the screen. Will be a touch floatier, Wilson. Savannah Dam. Zone look here from Chile, Andrew.
Yeah, I think it's well timed. I mean, you were talking about the wind. It's just starting to kick up a little bit now. And we've seen a few teams throw a junk at Juggernaut and Juggernaut not be entirely convincing as we see it's collapsed now into a match.
Trong. About 40 from goal. Wilson back at the brick mark.
Good cut.
Change to a vertical stack. Yeah, Trong. He's got Phillip deep. That throw's gone too short. Luke Bleeser with the easy clean-up. Gets going Mike Kelly. Kelly sends the shot. Pick has been called.
Well before the throw, so I think that'll go back.
Yeah, the cutter had pulled up with the pick call before the throw had been sent, so David Evans there was the cutter at the back. If the cutter had kept going and not complete, that is a turnover. But because the players have agreed that everyone had stopped well before the throw, that definitely does have an effect on the outcome of the throw. So
yeah, and there's a bit of woulda, coulda, shoulda, but it didn't look like that throw had a lot on it. I don't know if they would have got there. Anyway,
Evans does have some wheels.
Which one? Is it the younger
David,
one? Yeah, okay.
So Kelly with the restart. Space on the high side. Turner. Cuts heading away from him. Dignam with the under. Covered well by Henriksen. Kelly up the line. Also guarded. Has to take the inside shot. Harry White's found some space on the high side. Sends the hammer up. Couple of bodies underneath it. There's Evans, there's Henriksen, there's Dignam. Foul called. There's always going to be a little bit of biff.
That one, yeah.
A little bit of biff when there's bodies in the air and a high floaty throw.
I almost felt like the Chile player was initiating the contact, kind of ran.
Yeah.
No, I was getting the space. I get why, but I think this will be, it will be waved away, so it's going to be a turnover.
Yeah, retracted call. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
And
fair enough.
It's fine for Dignam to make the call and say, hey, let's chat about what happened.
Have a chat. Yeah,
I think Henriksen said, look, I'm
trying to
I
avoid
stood here.
Yeah,
You've backed into me.
Yeah.
I've got the right to exist.
I've got the right. I'm going to use that one. That's good.
Savannah Dam. Phillip at the front of the stack hits the break side option. Henriksen and Evans heading deep. Double coverage underneath. There's a free player. Henriksen.
Nice switches.
Wilson's the free player out the back off left of screen. Henriksen can't hit an open shot. Menzies.
Good save.
With the outlet cut. Right on the sideline. 48 from goal. Trong. There's a bit happening in the front of the stack here between Dignam and Savannah, but they're playing through it. Josh Phillip. Evans and Henriksen heading deep. Shot goes up this time to the advantage for Henriksen. Evans there in support. Henriksen takes the shot. He's
goes to celebrate before he's actually scored.
And Wilson with the easy shot. I've seen 3 players do that now down that end at this tournament. I don't know what's going on.
They need to mark the line or something?
I don't know what's going on the line marking. They've caught it around that area and just started the early sally. But in either case, gets the throw off. As we see here, you can see the 2 cuts head off the back. Evans cutting from that under space as well. Nice
Joined
grab
by
there.
Per Henriksen. Per, what's with the celebrating before you've actually scored the goal? It's pretty unique even by your standards.
You have trust in your teammates. You just believe every time someone's ready to throw the goal. We like to manifest. Exactly what I was just doing back then. Manifesting the goal and scoring the goal.
Okay, and you're taking in the deep ones, blowing pretty hard. Is fitness a concern or a question for you?
No, it's actually short, sharp breaths is the thing to keep the diaphragm going. I was being too far away from the mic. I'm actually as fit as the fiddle. Probably me and Dalla probably equal in the 1K time run.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for an early highlight. I'm sure we're going to see very more, a lot more.
Good talk, Moroney.
Thank you.
So 2-1 the score now. Ella to Paul.
He's a fan of himself, that boy.
Nice floaty Paul. Gives time for the defence to run down and set. Brigaki. The U-stack. Haven't seen that for a few years, Andrew. We'll talk about that soon. Evans.
Nice cut from
Lipari's gone under. He's had to take the shot in a high stall count. And who else would you rather be shooting to in a situation like that than James Osmond, streaking deep. And a clean hold there for Juggernaut. So the U-stack. So looks like a horizontal stack, but you got the two pairs right on the sideline, Andrew. What's the point of doing that?
Oh, it's all about creating the space. So clustering those players together. Leave space on the field for the primary cutters to move into. You're right, it is a little bit of an old school way to go about it, but not ineffective, as we saw there from Chile. And it was a really flat, fast shot. We've seen probably 2 hucks from that sideline now, but when we talk about hucks, there are hucks that kind of sit up and float, and there are hucks that you run onto, and both of them now have been out well in front of the receiver. That's probably the adjustment to make if you're hot. You need to start peeling off the back because Tommy got caught out there.
Yep. So 2-2 the score now.
There's Aussie, pretty happy.
Holes from both teams. 11 minutes in, I'd say. Slowish pace. I think both these teams are still very much feeling each other out as local opponents, both from the eastern suburbs of Melbourne. Very familiar with each other, but still they would have learned a bit about themselves. And similar setup here from Juggernaut, but isolating one cutter, Josh Phillip in the middle.
Gets it to him now. That's nice.
Trong halfway down the field now. Menzies flashing across. Chile had to transition out of their zone to match. Floaty throw. Some pressure there on Phillip from Turner. Wilson halfway down the field now. Doyle. Savannah heading up the line. Plenty of attacks on that front cone. A lot of space here on this near side, and pick called, unsurprising. We had 12 players in about 3 square metres of space there.
Yeah, that'll happen. That will happen.
So the disc will remain with Rowan Savannah Dam, about 5 metres from goal. Players are going to have to clear out of that space. They're going to have to come to this near side. Henriksen starting from the handler space. Could be an option here. We've got Trong in the end zone already. He may clear out of there. Phillip. Trong with a repeat attempt. And a big layout grab there. Layout block there from Max Miller. Saw that unfolding. Saw that the throw had no other option. It was going to go up, so launched the body and gets the turnover for his team.
Yeah, and it's been simmering away now. We're 4 points in, Simon. That the first big bid. Chile upping the ante. Let's see if they can convert.
Evans. Miller's free. Juggernaut haven't quite worked out their matchups here. Now they're sorted, but Chile are halfway down the field. Turner takes a good long look. He's looking deep. Evans
and Trong, that's a good matchup, Simon.
Great matchup. Hall.
There's still a blown coverage. There's something going on.
Kelly.
They're poaching off.
Bleeser. Attacking brick mark now, 20 from goal. Miller. Hits the high side. Turner has to go for it, but just knocks it on to his teammate. Mark Evans. He's got a shot down this low side. Puts it up over the top to space. Turner has to reach. Had Phillip coming in hot. The cuts have dried up, and I think left Evans without too many options there other than to take the shot.
Yeah, and Evans is going to shoot all day. We know that. We've seen 2 turnovers from him thus far.
And Juggernaut are well aware of that too. They know that he can shoot, so they're going to sit back a bit and just.
Yep.
attempting to do that. We have an injury call. Phillip has just disappeared.
Yeah.
Wants to maybe continue the warm-up or maybe heading...
I think he's going for relief, as they would say.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, that's probably the way to put it. I haven't seen that before.
No, not midpoint. By the way, Ash Evans subbing on.
We've all been there. We've all had our moments where it's like, oh, bit touch and go.
So vertical stack, and Evans taking the Trong matchup at the back of the stack. So
You reckon they're a bit deep here, Simon?
yeah,
Or?
Trong would want to come under, draw Evans out of that deeper space.
But they are, and you called it earlier with Henriksson. Now it's Evans
isolating
one out and gets it to him reasonably easily.
Trong under very tight coverage here. Everyone is. Tafer has gone for it, but he's knocked it on. Seven Andam runs it down. Back to Trong. Everyone's scrambling now to recover.
Good commitment from both players.
Wilson. Good little inside shot to Trong.
Stack very stagnant now, Simon.
Yeah, not much happening downfield. Menzies. Henriksson resets the count. Space on the high side for someone who wants it. Evans just holds the space.
Yeah.
Clears out for Henriksson.
He pulled out of his cut because he could see that the timing wasn't right, so this is good. Bit more discipline from Jugger.
Trong about 10 from goal. Lots of space, lots of defenders heading to that near side. So Wilson hits this low side unguarded. Cute little inside shot to Michael Trong. And Juggernaut put in their third, although not the cleanest of offense we've seen. And sometimes what you've got to do, Andrew, is adapt. When your offensive plan is covered off, you've got to be able to adapt, recover, improvise. And we saw some great improvisation from Rowan Seven-Andam. After that layout block from Ethan Taifer, just thought, well, maybe this will sit up. Don't just give up on it. Was able to chase it down.
Yeah, good commitment to the cause. He knew even though he'd been deed that there was still an opportunity. And Jugger not looking entirely convincing with their own. But, as you mentioned, found a way to get it done.
They're starting to communicate better in the stack, as we've seen for the weekend. There was a lot of improvisation, scrambling, unpredictable cutting, and it left your downfield players with a bit of uncertainty about where the space is going to unfold. So they sit back, hold, wait, and then all of a sudden, everyone's looking at them going, why aren't you doing anything? They're like, well, I don't know, we're supposed to be doing something by now. But I think pulling that isolated cutter off the front of the stack's helping to tidy that up a bit by making it clear that it's that player's space.
First,
it's Evans' space. It's Henriksson's space.
Yep.
Helping that timing work better.
Yeah, I agree. And the secondary cuts coming off the back. So it's good that there's at least a little bit of discipline and structure. But now we're going to see Chile's offense and the man himself, Regaki.
Set play here. Flood stack. Evans with the disc. Well shut down by Juggernaut. Osmond winding up. Heads back inboard to Evans.
Hodge and Evans, good matchup.
Evans sends it free, looking for Tom Regaki. He's got Kelvin Doo, but Regaki's got good position here.
Why wouldn't you?
Takes the easy two-hander. For Juggernaut's third. A couple of different O-looks here from Hot Chili based around isolating a certain cutter. So that flood play had Riley Wood as the isolated cutter, who caught the goal earlier. Heading deep, and then the rest of the stack clear to this near side to have a different cutter isolated. I didn't spot who the target was, but it was well shut down by Juggernaut. As we see, a good, it'll be their sort of plan B play today.
Yeah, it's a decent plan B. As we saw, Mr. Regaki, number 42, catching that goal. Here is the rest of the Hot Chili list. And Simon, you've been watching these guys and saw them through the semi-final as well. Which players are making a mark so far this tournament?
So, probably a couple of their best on yesterday were number 3, Josh Lipari, number 75, Harry White, getting plenty of work done on the D-line. And I've really been liking the work of Dave Evans as well. He's been setting himself up for a couple of blocks, getting them at crucial moments.
Yeah, it sounded like White was involved in a lot of the breaks.
Yeah, the offensive conversions. So once they've got the block, he was on either end of quite a few of their goals, helping arrange, as well as playing good defense, helping arrange their offense once they had the disc. So the defense line is out there now, and offside has been called. Bit too excited there.
Yeah.
So offside is when they've crossed the line, the goal line on the pull, before the pull has been released. And what will that then means? It's treated as if it went out of bounds. And Juggernaut will get the disc at the 44-metre mark, called the brick mark. So arrowhead zone, so flat, 3 at the front.
It's pretty aggressive.
Kind of matchy at the back too. It's an interesting look, this one. We can hear them counting the number of passes, which means they'll transition to a straight match defense soon.
I reckon that's done now.
Yep. Phillip, the isolated cutter. Doyle. Evans. Wilson heading deep. Evans has a couple of options.
Ooh, nice bid.
Eriksson. Trong. Being conservative with their long shots now, Juggernaut. They'll probably want to get about maybe 10, 15 closer to goal.
Another great bid.
Hall there with the bid. Savannah Dam. It's got eyes for Evans. Evans with the inside look. No one heading deep though.
All the stack pointing back to the dump, saying cycle it around, but
yeah, get it to that high side.
It's only good for so long. That stack needs to get involved.
Eriksson. Trong well covered there by Dignam.
Yeah, good cut. Good D.
Evans. Wilson. Savannah Dam. And the markers have really got to do a better job of pinning Juggernaut to one particular sideline. They're letting him just move laterally far too easily.
Yeah, we see the power of the inside break on display there. That first break often brings another. But credit to Chile's defense. Wore them pretty tight. A couple of bids in there, a couple of sniffs.
Yeah,
Jugger able to work through it. So that was the first break, and you saw Wilson with that moment, with that space to continue the secondary break throw.
It catches the downfield defense out of position. So key players to look for on Juggernaut, Andrew.
Number 9, Tommy Duller. He's going to be kind of their defensive playmaker alongside Tony Castrigano. Number 5, coming off retirement and a Worlds campaign last year. A few newcomers as well. Luke Doyle, Irishman, with the top knot. We've seen him out there so far today. What about yourself?
I've been really liking the work of number 0, Kelvin Dew. He's had a terrific game yesterday in the quarterfinal, getting blocks and goals at crucial moments. So I think this might be the time where he's announcing his arrival. He's a Australian under-24 representative.
Oh, is he? I didn't know he was that young.
I think so.
Yeah, right. Well, now.
Yes.
Chile giving one back. There we go, Regaki.
You've done one, we'll do one. All right.
Yeah. Well, there's been a remarkably low level of chip so far in this game, which has been disappointing.
It's early days.
Yeah.
But the game advisors are there to signal offside if they see it. It's up to the teams to call it.
Yeah. And why wouldn't you? Yeah.
It tends to be only in game advisor games that rule is used because, I mean, it's pretty hard to see a front of the line from 64 metres away. Osmond. Evans. Regaki. So, look, this will transition soon, probably about halfway down the field. Lapari.
And this Simon's designed to have Chile, to stop Chile with their primary look. We saw kind of their offense just being a little bit too easy, so Jugger bringing this out to force Chile into plan B.
Lapari. Also means you only have to defend half the field too, so it takes away those long looks and long options.
Gak's got his eyes up.
Evans.
He's going to let one go soon.
They're spotting up Osmond in top left of the screen there. You can see number 34. He's the target they want to get it to. Christie. They've also got Sam Middleton coming in centre left of the screen there as well. Regaki's put it low, finds Osmond. Osmond to Wood.
Yeah, they've collapsed now. I think they do have found their matchups. And Delwood's found his way to Regaki, who's cocking the hammer.
Great turn there by Riley Wood, turning away from his defender. Attacking that cone, attacking that front corner of the end zone. So, while they didn't get the turn, that was probably effective defensive choice from Juggernaut to slow the offense down and take away the primary look, like you said, Andrew.
Yeah, just forced a few more throws. That's the most throws they've had in a single point, 19. Their previous highest was about 11. So good work from us. And on the transition, there was no blown coverage or anything like that. Everyone found a player. But to Chile's credit, they're going, okay, cool. We'll go to plan B, plan C, and still did it without really too much of a sniff. I think that's the difference we're seeing between the two defenses is Chile's firstly getting the disc, but also there are a lot of bids coming out of Chile.
Yeah.
I haven't really seen any from us, which is something to work on.
And it's that blown coverage, that's a real risk in that transition defense is sometimes you want to transition at a point where your defense is steady, not when a throw's gone over the top or broken through, because all of a sudden you're trying to cover 4-on-2 at the back and you're all out of position.
Yep, always a risk in the red zone.
Yeah.
Because only one small mistake and the point will be over.
Clean match look from Juggernaut here. Phillip had isolated cover in the middle. Doyle heading deep. Trong heading across. Wilson. Trong. Menzies coming under, well covered by Kelly. Handles have been pushed backwards. Chile are switching their forward. They're forcing throws to go to the middle of the field, but
no long cuts. Bugger all happening in the stack, Simon.
Yeah. Savannah keeping it inbounds. Henriksen, offensive foul called, I think.
Yep.
Push off
in there.
Yep. Up.
Just a bit of reenactment.
So Turner and Henriksen, definitely not players who keep. You're never left wondering what they're thinking.
Yeah, just ask them. You don't even need to ask them; they'll just tell you.
But again, just establishing these boundaries early.
I agree. Yep.
Turner's just gone. Yep, okay, like you'll have it, but let's make sure in the future we have a bit less of that. So the disc will remain with Henriksen. Doyle. I'm loving Doyle's undercuts. We'll look at the shape of his cuts a bit soon. White there was having a stiff on defense. Phillip.
Yeah, and that's because of the predictability of the Hoss offense.
Yeah.
They're going to be able to anticipate those bids, those throws.
Henriksen. Menzies has gone deep out the back. That throw has gone very close to the line.
Out.
Yeah. Good by Menzies there. He did what he could to keep it in.
Yeah.
He turned around, knew Mike Kelly was there, said, Mike, how'd I go? Mike said, sorry, mate. Good effort.
Yeah.
And he's happy just to go, yep, okay, sure. Had our end zone camera right there that may have been used as evidence later, but I think well worked out by the players.
Yeah.
It's a good cut by Menzies, really opened up the field, but throw those back corners. You know, you've got both the back line and the sideline restricting you. Turner.
Oh, yeah, he's a long way out.
Back to Turner. Turner takes the long shot looking for White. He's got Phillip underneath. White's got the good position, but Phillip goes inside as it fades away. Phillip having two goes to knock it down as White desperately lunges for it. Trong wants to restart quickly, but no one's moving for him.
Violation.
So it's a quick pickup, but the front of the stack is about 25 metres away. So all cuts are coming under. It might have to be just bounced between these two handlers for a bit till the stack recovers their position.
Yeah, Wilson the only player with a
high floaty throw. And Evans just put enough presence there on Savannah Dam to force a turn. Turner picks it up quickly, wants to make it moving. Mike Kelly covered.
Nice break.
Racer up the line, jumps it in. And there's the first break of the game.
And we said we feel it coming. We've seen Chile's defense just probably a little more active, having more of a sniff, and they have put in the first break of the game.
The throws are starting to become a touch looser from Juggernaut. The breeze has picked up a bit, so throws heading to that side of the field. So from the viewer's perspective, bottom of screen to top of screen. We saw that one pop up, and it was a quick restart of offense here. Caught a lot of defenders out of position. And that break throw
Nice
out.
break.
Unfortunately torched Doyle. And Chile's D-line playing offense, super efficient yesterday. They didn't turn it back much. Like, they got a lot of, well, we say clean holds, as in there was no turns, but defense had to get the turn first to get the clean hold, but they were able to put it in one possession. Took a couple of goes that time, but
Yeah, they've looked more likely, haven't they?
yeah. The challenge for Juggernaut now is for the D-line to actually get the disc off Chile's O-line, be able to show what they can do with their offense and get a break back at some stage. But for the time being, we've got Juggernaut's offensive line. Chile didn't change much personnel at their point. They've got a few repeats out there. So Evans is back out there. White, Lisa Hall. They've brought on Sam Middleton, Max Miller for some fresh legs, Ethan Tafer as well.
And Jugger running their same O-line. I'm surprised they didn't bring Bar across. We've seen before when they have been broken, they'd bring a Bar or a T-Cas over.
Yeah.
Sticking with it for now.
So it was a 3-2 stack there, but the timing just was not there at all. And so they're going to have to move into a vertical stack just to reset. Savannah Dam, Dave Hall with a big layout bid.
Nice
Eriksson,
cut.
good inside shot. He's got Evans deep. He wants to hit the high side. Bit of contact made on the mark. Play continues, but the stall camp resets. Henriksen, 40 from goal. No movement at all up field.
Absolute
None.
statues, Simon.
Doyle,
Good cut, Ash.
Evans, Phillip. Less than 20 from goal. Low, wide, backhand throw to Wilson.
Didn't think the young fella had that throw in his kit bag. That was very nice break backhand for the goal.
And, yeah, there was very little activity from the stack there, and I think sometimes what happens, Andrew, is if the handlers are playing small ball, moving around themselves, the stack just doesn't know.
Well, you do that then. Yeah.
It's like I liken it sometimes to the double Dutch skipping rope. You're there sort of waiting for that chance to jump in. You're like, there's a lot happening.
like
I don't know where my entry is here. And then all of a sudden, the small ball stops. The handlers look upfield and go, what are you doing?
Yeah. Why is no one cutting? Well, you were just bouncing it around.
You haven't looked at us.
Yeah, running a little dump drill for 30 passes.
So that's something I'll have a chat about. And you can resolve that sometimes by a personnel switch. So moving one of your handlers into the stack to help with that timing. Because the handlers are going to best recognise, hey, they're going to be start looking now. Let's move.
Yeah. And we were talking earlier about something that Juggernaut were doing earlier in running a bit more of like a feld. So having that player off the front of the stack isolated a little bit more. So it's actually looked good when they've done that.
Yeah.
It's looked stagnant when they've run a traditional, 4-5 and the people in the stack. So it's 5 apiece, but Chile with their noses in front. They've got the mini break. Drawing first blood as we see Tom Della brought to you by Bass Pro Fishing. With a nice big pull, Simon, and it'll be Rigaki.
Got them very good field position, but Rigaki feels the pull, moves it upfield to Evans before the defence can set.
And another transitional kind of look here, Simon, stopping the primary play.
It'll be an early transition too, I think.
Yep.
How many cuts heading away from Rigaki?
We almost threw it.
Wood playing downfield.
So both Evans and Rigaki downfield.
One of them's going to head deep soon.
Yeah, correct, and he does. Evans
there
is
we
gone.
go. Chong's going to come and meet this inside. And great, fantastic play by Trong there. Andrew, you spotted it too.
Yeah, he didn't get the D, but he forced Evans to come with him under to go early. So it won't be in the stats book as a D, but it was clever work from Trong nonetheless.
Bar, Cutter's a long way away from him. Sweeney. Good inside shot to Trong. Trong continues to Della. So Eichner coming under. Eichner wearing some contact. Barr. Looking to low side. Really likes that.
Pick call.
Really likes that wide release backhand around the marker's left. So Barr's got his eyes open on this underside, but there is a lot of space in that high side for Cutters to go for his forehand as well. So disc will remain with Barr without a reset option at the moment. Sweeney comes back. Just little miscommunication there. Sweeney wanted to throw backwards, Barr wanted to go forwards.
Gack's looking for the quick run and gun.
Yeah, but he wants this over in one pass. Eyes at the end zone. Puts the shot up through the middle. He finds Evans. Straight through the middle of traffic. And hands on, heads there. As everyone wonders what happened a bit there.
Yeah, bold play from Rigaki. He took the run and gun when he was probably the player furthest down the field, so he had to force all of his teammates to kind of run past him.
Yeah.
But it did turn out in the end to be a one-throw offense. That was Rigaki to Mark Evans.
Yeah. As we see, a bit of contact on the mark there. Eichner doesn't mind a bit of physical play, neither does French. Just come off camera a bit. Barr had started to sort of maybe shift one way, and then Sweeney's gone, I was trying to throw to advantage. Now, Rigaki to Evans, I mean, there's a couple of hundred people here watching, and I reckon there's 7 people who didn't think that was going to be the look, and they were all wearing a pink jersey.
Yeah.
It's final game of the tournament. Tidy offensive plans go out the window, and it's about getting a disc to the end zone, getting scores on the board.
Yeah. I mean, we said it here, the fact that both Rigaki and Evans were behind the disc, well, that's not going to wash. One of them is going to get out of there.
Absolutely a decoy.
Yeah. But we talked about, forcing Juggernaut forcing Chile into option plan B, C, and D. That's option A.
Yes.
That's coming. So shut that down.
Force
one of these other fellas to get amongst it. Yeah.
3-2 stack, space in the middle. Eriksson under. They've gone straight into a vertical stack. Still tight in field position, Doyle. Cutters heading away from him. Evans. Still with a lot of space.
Nice
poor
break.
switch by Chile there.
Yep.
Henriksen. Menzies. Henriksen. A lot of space in front of the stack for Cutters. Evans takes advantage of it.
Chile running a super loose mark.
Yeah. They know
stepping right off. Look at that.
Yeah, they know Juggernaut will want to shoot from back here, and Henriksen has put that long and wide. That is going to drift back in bounds, and there'll be bodies underneath it. Middleton's got the good position though. Takes that very comfortably. So I think that loose mark is encouraging those kind of throws, Andrew. Kelly was looking upfield before he caught it. And that is a massive let out for Juggernaut's O-line.
Big let off.
Big let off. Savannah down. Wilson fires in the shot. Menzies.
That's a little bit better.
Shelley will be ruining what could have been just then. So that loose mark around the throw, Andrew, they know the range the Juggernaut are taking the shots from. It's roughly sort of 20,
midfield, yep.
30 plus metres out. So they're wary of those shots early, happy for that lateral movement to happen because they've got the pace and athleticism to put early pressure on that throws, and then trust their downfield defenders to take any sky ball shots.
Yeah, and as we've said, it's in terms of the energy of the game. Well, yes, okay, it's close. We're at sixes, but the vibe, the Dennis Januto, you'd be giving the edge to Chile.
Yeah,
they're the one taking the disc off Hoss more often. They've only got one break to show for it. Probably should have 2 or 3.
Yep.
But they're still they've got it on their terms, I reckon, at the moment. As we see the crowd filing in for the finals day action.
It's Spicy Chili, the women's team associated with Hot Chili. They've already achieved their best ever finish at AUC, playing off for 5th later this morning against Chaos from WA. They're getting around their club mates in the meantime. Just watching Turner and Castellano have a chat on the sideline. It's very friendly at the moment.
But
I remember chats among those two 12 months ago being, like, I mean, passive aggressive is one way of putting it, but again, two players, you're never left wondering what they think. Christie centres to Evans. Evans urging Wood to go forward. Rigaki. And here we go. Evans and Rigaki are starting behind the disc now.
Evans
That chance they're both going to end up there.
And now both in the stack.
French, Wood. Lipari heading deep. Centre ball to Christie.
Pick call.
So pick call in the stack.
So all kinds of headaches for Juggernaut right now. They're dealing with Osmond, Rigaki, Mark Evans and Josh Lipari. So that's a pretty decent stack.
And James French on that high side too. But
yeah,
not some good matchups here. Trong on Evans, you pointed that matchup before. That's a pretty good one. So Caleb Blue on the mark. It'll be Stall on one. So Chrissy has Nelly a full count to look at every option available. Nothing available for the Cutters. Wood having to go full stretch. Looking upfield, he's got French on that high side if he can get the disc out there. But keeps it in to Christie. Chile retreating to go wide. Evans. Another injury call, I think.
Aussie just catching Della off to the right of screen, just caught him in the gob. He's a bony fella too, Osmond.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to wear one from him.
Similar bills on both these fellas.
Yeah.
So the injury call just means that Della can just take a second to recover. He doesn't have to sub because there was contact.
Yeah.
Evans, everyone heading away from him at the moment.
That's better adjustment from Juggernaut. They all knew that Evans wanted to shoot.
Christie to French. Rigaki coming under. Covered well by Do. Evans. Again, everyone heads away as soon as Evans gets it. Tell me Della gets up. Knew that was going to happen. Peeled off his marker. Do. Eichner demanding it back as he was unguarded. Trong. Players on the high side now. Tran heading deep.
Oh, big
Liu coming under. Lipari leaving his feet there. Trong. Eichner's cutting. He's just turning on a dime. Plenty of space open. And Trong has gone firing up the line.
The advisor right there.
So, yeah, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, but whether his back foot was up is whether he's in goal or not.
No, I don't think he was in.
Not in. Liu charging up the line. Lot of crowding space here. They're going to have to go backwards and retreat. Having to go high.
Oh,
He's
no.
Overcooked the throw. Looking for Caleb Liu and Rigaki.
And that's a big let off for Chile now.
Yeah. Rigaki wanted to pick it up and shoot, but Lipari was under double coverage, so probably a smart move for Rigaki to walk over and let another handler pick it up. Wood. French unguarded. Osmond flashing across. Good switching there. Wood heading up the line. No long cuts obliging. They'll keep grinding, but Christie drifts deep this time. Wood takes the long field shot. And Hot Chili with their 7th. So Pat Christie, we saw Riley Wood do this play before, start in the handle space and then just start drifting deep. Not currently on screen now. The defender, I think it was Caliviotis, was thinking, he'll double back under at some point. And then Christie's just gone, just put the burners on and kept going once the thrower was in power position. Good shot by Wood here. Nice flat. So timeout called. This would be called by Juggernaut. We're 44 minutes into the game. And 7-6 at the moment. Been only the one break so far. So really just trading points at the moment, but Chile with their noses in front. This timeout called. Teams have 3 timeouts to use, but they can only use maximum 2.5. As we take a look at the pathway both teams took. So Juggernaut had Wildcats from Wellington in the quarterfinal and came back in a huge upset clawing back a 3-goal advantage at the death to win 14-13. Meanwhile, Chile up over Frisbee United, but down in the semi-final in a nail-biter. And you can watch that one on demand. We streamed that game yesterday. Highly recommend watching it. It was a terrific game. And while Juggernaut faced crosstown rivals Ellipsis in their semi-final and had spent all their tickets winning that quarter, Ellipsis won their way through to the final in convincing fashion. We'll see Ellipsis versus Sunder Slice in the open final later this morning. So, Andrew, you poked your head in on the Juggernaut huddle. What was the message there from Coach Josie Phillip?
Yeah, largely positive. The soundbite was "Feel the fire building," which I think is the case. We probably hadn't seen that level of energy or intensity from the Jugger D-line until that point. They got the disc back. They were millimetres break. But the other, I guess, more tactical note was just to be wary when Rigaki has the disc. They reckon he wants to kind of end the point anytime he's got the Frisbee. So making sure that there's a heads-up play, but also using that to build energy. They know that, Gut can get a little antsy in his pantsy sometimes, and so they're going to feed off that energy. So
the Evans pull, he kept that very fast and direct, daring Wilson to catch it, but Wilson was happy to let it roll out the back, which will mean Savannah Dam can bring it up to the goal line. Static start, so we can see 3 cutters from Juggernaut on the near side, 2 on the high side. What will happen here is Phillip, who's at the front, he'll flash across, and if that can't be hit to him, it'll be Trong or Henriksen getting the under.
You must just get bored being right all the time. Look at that, exactly as you drew it up.
Well covered by Juggernaut. By Chile. Phillip. Evans heading deep. Doyle coming under. Doyle having a terrific shape in his cuts. Very direct out and under, no curve.
Pear got put on his backside there downfield.
It's very easy to throw to Doyle when he's coming directly at the thrower. So the disc will stay with Josh Phillip, we think. Maybe not. So the call would have happened while Doyle had the disc, so players will have to reset to the last completed pass, which was to Doyle.
And this is a super important hole in the context of the game, Simon. 7-6. Half
Doyle
being taken at 8.
Great throw up the line to Trong. Getting some good yards on these up the line shots. Trong goes to Evans. Evans versus Evans. Little bump there. Evans happy to ride. I'm going to have to start using first names. Ash Evans for Juggernaut there with the pink. Copped a little bump, but there was a foul on the throw as well. So Ash Evans for Juggernaut, Mark Evans for Chile. But there was a foul called on the throw where Trong being matched by Turner. And I think Turner's saying, look, I had just got there and held my position. You've moved into me. We see the so Mark Evans sort of went to pull out because he thought, oh, I'm just going to collide with him here.
Yeah.
So he did well there because Ash Evans was coming back. So if that was the call, then I think there's nothing in that.
Yeah, there's nothing there.
But it's back on the thrower. So let's see if we can see that.
Difficult to be pretty far away. I didn't see any contact.
Yeah, but with their backs to us, it's difficult to tell.
And it's on the far side, yeah.
Here we go. If we can get a look here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there was contact. The discussion will be whether the disc had been released. But
I think it was more Turner's just like, I had my hand there, you went into me. So contest is probably the right outcome there. Phillip up the line to Ash Evans, ahead of Mark Evans. And another call made. Travel, I think, this time.
Yeah.
So Josh Phillip.
Mark Evans, a big fan of pulling the shirt up just to show everyone he's got abs. Yeah. We know, Mark.
Will tell us it's a cooling effect, but I mean, it's 19 degrees.
Yeah.
So stall count will be in on 0. Phillip to retain the disc. Evans and Evans just going back to where they were before the throw was released. So about 17 metres to goal on the high side. Phil will probably hang on to this, not look for an immediate cutter because Mark Evans is all over that shot now. He knows that Philip's got that release. So probably a reset. Might want to hit the low side, I think. Doyle or Wilson down this low side.
And Chile just getting a little hungry around that D. You can see them starting to hunt it. It actually allowed the up the line, the easy up the line from Jake Wilson. So.
And you can sort of be in two modes on defense. You can contain, you can hunt. And hunt means having to sort of abandon the team plan for a moment to try and do something, but then a throw comes out and all your teammates are caught out of position. That's the risk.
And so despite some sketchy moments, the Juggernaut hold to bring it to 7 apiece. They still trail.
Timeout called by Juggernaut. Good call by Joshi Phillips. So teams have 3 timeouts to use per game, but you can only use a maximum of 2.5. So teams often use one right before half just because, well, we have it. Otherwise, it's use it or lose it. They wouldn't get 3 in the second half. So it's a 7-all. Obviously a very crucial point. I don't know what context, though. And it's a big moment here for Juggernaut's D-line, Andrew.
Yeah, totally. We've seen they probably didn't really fire a shot until one of the most recent points. They weren't really taking the disc off Chile, let alone kind of threatening to break. So it's a good timeout call, I reckon, to just give them a bit of a G up, have a really deliberate discussion about what they're going to run and the 7 that they're going to put on.
Yep. They're calling the matchups there. They'll be running with a straight match, so you can see Tommy Della, he's pointing out who's going to take who. He's giving every player an assignment, and they'll be really well scouted. There's 2 teams that are very familiar with each other. Meanwhile, Coach Sahil Patel for Chile giving their offensive plan, and I think the message from him will just be, look, we don't have to do anything special. We don't have to change what we're doing. I think we will see a shot from Evans to Rigaki all the other way around, regardless. It's just going to be a case of whether there's the space to do that, whether it's a smart shot. Because throws going up over the top now. The breeze has picked up going top to bottom.
Yep.
And so shots will want to be low, flat, and direct. And so if Della or Eichner are in that deep space, those shots aren't on. So that's why you'll see a lot of cycling trying to get those 2 to follow cutters underneath.
Oh, that's a big one.
That's going to give them good field position. That'll land in near their end zone. Christie to field the pull.
And down on the first pass. Love to see it.
Rigaki. Wood. French through the middle. He's got Osman coming through the middle as well. Smooth movement here from Chile.
Uncontested. Accepted foul.
Della's just trying too hard to reach over the top there of Osman, looking for that short pass to Rigaki. So you can see both sidelines really revving up their teammates here. So Osman, about 42 from goal. Can't find Evans, finds Rigaki. Not many cutters heading away from either thrower at this stage. Osman. He's doing well to draw Della out of that deep space. Here we go, French. Has a look downfield. He's got eyes on Christie, who's just gone nup, send it back. Let's set the stack. Good control of the tempo there. Evans. Rigaki's drifting into the stack now. So eyes on him. Osman heading to high side. Christie. Evans is out of options here. Heads inside. Finds Wood. Good let out there.
Yeah, release that pressure.
Wood. Finds Evans.
Got it on top of Tronga's head.
That high side's open. Rigaki gets up. 7 or 8 metres from the goal. Players yelling, chill at Rigaki. He is not going to hear that nor listen. Puts it up over the top. That was a high stall count. Had to go for it. Pat Christie gets up.
And here we go. There's going to be chat. Podgy and Rigaki, contested stall. And that might just be creeping up now, Simon.
Yeah, the good defence by Juggernaut to shut down all downfield options. Good pressure on the mark there from Eichner as well. It was just a desperation. Send it into space. Let's see what happens from Rigaki. So
Yeah, it had stall 9 written all over it.
Yeah.
Podgy's saying it had stall 10.
Yeah.
Waves it away. Goal. Ever the diplomat, Regaki.
So retracted call. Sweeney might have been counting in Gaelic when the rules are it has to be in English. Great defensive pressure from Juggernaut just to tie up everything, all their reset options, all their under options, forcing that pressure to throw. And I think, I don't think anyone saw Christie coming. Christie sort of had that red from miles back. He thought, this is about to go up. I'm just going to get involved.
Yeah.
And so Hot Chili take half, 8-7. In the bronze medal game, the 2025 Australian Ultimate Championships, brought to you by the Australian Flying Disc Association, coming to you live from West Beach in Adelaide. We'll be back with the second half in a few minutes.
Come on, Rex. Been doing this all weekend, mate. Where do you want me to stand? Right here?
You won't be on camera.
And we're joined by head coach Josh Phillip from Juggernaut. Josh, pretty animated in the halftime circle. What was the message, mate?
Well, the message is pretty simple. We've come back from bigger deficits than this on day 2, on day 3, and we can do this. We can do this. The Chile boys have popped their champagne. They're already cheering and getting ready to go celebrate after this game. And the message is really simple. Let's come out of the blocks.
And to do that, you're going to need a defensive run. Which players are you backing in to kind of stand up and turn the tide?
Look, there's plenty of big time players that we've got on our team here. Podgy's ready for some action. TCAS had some great defensive plays yesterday afternoon. Look, any one of our guys can step up. We're looking for a hero, and any one of our boys can step up.
Thanks, Josh. Good luck for the
Thanks, boys.
Rugaki to bring the disc into play for the second half. Shortish pull. The wind has picked up during that break. Chile heading to left of screen. Looks long and wide.
Great
Evans
throw.
fires down the line. Lipari right on the sideline. 10 from goal. Wood goes upfield into that end zone, and clean offense, Andrew.
Yeah, really opened up by that Rugaki throw to Evans into space. Nice big under gainer. Broke any kind of pressure that Juggernaut were able to build early on.
And joining us for a quick chat, Miles Caston from Chile. Thanks for your time, Miles. So what was the message from Coach Sahil Patel in the halftime huddle there?
Half-time, pretty much a lot of what we've done this tournament is try and play 2 halves. Like, I think the first day we struggled. We played one half of really good ultimate and then didn't really find our form in the second. And I think the message has been pretty much the same as day 2, day 3, and now on day 4 is just play 2 halves. We know our level can win this game, and that's what we need to do.
Sure, and we've seen so far you've been very rigid with your lines. Are there going to be changes of personnel at all, or sticking with what you know?
You might see a little adaptation to the D-line in terms of some key personnel crossing across. We won't give that away until you see it on the field. But I think the lines will probably stay pretty tight all the way through. There will be some shifts across from offense, but yeah, pretty tight.
Cool. Thanks for your time, Miles.
No worries. Thanks, gents.
So Rugaki on the defensive line.
Smart.
Juggernaut, that
OB.
ball's gone high and wide. That will sail out of bounds. GA Steve Baker taking a nice grab there.
That was nice, yeah. You're one of your old teammates, Simon.
He's still got it. Put on a show, put on a clinic for us at the World Masters Championships last year on the Oz over 40s team. So 3-2 set up here, and Chile have really crowded the middle of the field here. So I think Michael Trong, you can see bottom centre of this cluster of 3.
Gak starting to play both ends now, Simon.
Savannah Dam on the brick mark. Eriksson, high side. Menzies streaking under, drawing Rugaki out of the deep space.
And that's a sacrificial cut from Menzies.
Trongy's had to try and keep his feet down, keep it in bounds, and go high at the same time. Difficult to reel those ones in. He's fumbled it and it's gone out of bounds. Rugaki will pick up the disc for Chile. About 22 from goal. Near sideline. They've set the stack up on the high side, leaving plenty of space for cutters. We can see Dave Evans, one out under double coverage. Good work by Wilson there. The hammer shot's gone up for Evans in the back there. Miller's got involved. Wilson's got involved. And Doyle has made what I think is not a bad call here. He said that Miller's got himself in there but did not make a play at the disc. So essentially he's saying that you've shepherded us out of making a play at that.
And Gak's disappointed. He'd already gone off celebrating, looking at the camera, carrying on like a peanut. He's going to have to throw it again.
I think it's pretty reasonable to have this discussion. Doyle looking for game advice and perspectives. So it was a wild odd throw. There was time for a few bodies to get underneath it.
Had a bit of double helix about it.
Miller went in, and obviously Miller's seen a teammate coming in and thought, right, okay, I'm going to stay out of the way, but whether he's done that as a deliberate move, you can see, he's heard the teammate call and said, nope, staying, and it's obviously boxed Doyle out. But after the chat, the GA shared the perspective. The call has been withdrawn, and it's okay for Doyle to stop the play and ask that question.
Yeah.
So it's not permitted in the rules to essentially box out or shepherd out people from the contest. But if you've got to be in there, you've got to be making a play at the disc, I think is the wording. Wilson did well to make a play on it. And that's another break for Chile, second of the game. It puts them up 10-7. And it's a break straight after half can do things to your psyche, because you've gone from a margin of 1 now to a margin of 3, which can feel it's a very quick turnaround. They have got the offense now, so if they put this in, it's 10-8, but they've now got 2 breaks to get to bring it even. It's not good timing.
Even, yeah.
So critical point here for Juggernaut. Whether they'll stick with this 3-2 split stack, I'm not sure, because Chile seem to have it worked out. I think just a clean vert's been working well for them.
And he's notching up a stat line now. 1 goal to go with his 4 assists. The fresh, sprightly young dingo, Thomas Regaki.
Promising future for this guy.
He's just really starting to come into his own, isn't he?
Yeah,
starting to mature.
Learn about the game a bit, develop.
Still gets a rush of blood to the head sometimes. He probably wants to work that out. Just a little less shooting.
That'll come with experience. Savannah Dam, Henriksen, Doyle. Again turning on a dime, getting a nice clean under. Makes the backhand. Evans getting under as well.
Lovely to see him going around on a day 4, Simon. Never thought I'd see it.
Henriksen toes it in. They're really playing with the width of this field here, Juggernaut.
Yeah, it's better.
Phillip. They've tightened up their marking now, Chile. Not so loose anymore. Wilson. Trong. On the doorstep now, there's Evans. Having to go high, but not a problem for him. Nice little kick spike away.
Yeah, and the goose step was nice too. Evans using that to actually gain a little bit of time. Could see that Trong needed an extra second to get the throw, so he just kind of held up in the stack, gave the little goosey.
I've talked a bit about the shape of Doyle's cutting, where he'll go out, turn very, very sharply, like almost a 180-degree angle. But Evans, he's a very, very big aerial threat, so he doesn't need to go as hard as deep. So he'll take a few steps deep. The defender goes, oh no, he's going. And then he can really attack that underspace. Ethan Tafer there, just with the job of chasing Evans around that point. Did well up until that last bit, where just the break throw out to this low side just caught him out of position and forced him to chase. So 10-8 to the advantage of Hot Chili wearing the dark jerseys.
And if you think they're saying the name Evans a lot, you'd be right. We've got 3 of them out there today. 2 of them brothers, the Chili brothers.
Yeah.
And then Ash playing off Jugger.
No relation.
No relation. Two's enough. 2's plenty.
Della. Hands up to signal readiness. Sends a pull up. Another good pull. Going to put Chile back on their goal line.
Whoa! Lipari.
Gutsy catch there from Lipari. Allows them to get their offense started quickly. Regaki pivots back, pivots forward. Lipari getting downfield. Free players everywhere coming under. French.
They've adjusted now.
Regaki halfway, puts a long shot up, looking for Pat Christie. Christie is able to just run that one in. Nice little clap catch. And again, it's a shot down the centre from Regaki that's catching Juggernaut unaware.
Yeah, and that one ever so slightly to the break side, so always to his receiver's advantage.
Yeah. Second goal for Christie today. Third.
But we're seeing really quick points as well.
Yeah.
Christie, yeah, as you say, has been on the end of a couple. That's his 3rd. But Jugger just unable to keep Chile's offense out on the field for any extended period of time.
I think they were going by the sounds of the sideline there. I think they were going for a forced middle, but weren't really able to effectively lock on either side. They were trying to switch the force and just a lot of scrambling.
So everything pretty even in terms of the holds and the turns, but you can see that top one there. That's the one that matters. It is 2 breaks to none. And Jugger outside of that point where they had Tronga trying to tow it in.
Yeah.
They haven't really looked likely, so they're going to need to arrest that momentum pretty soon, or else this game is going to be done.
Yeah. I mean, trading from here, that's the worst nightmare for Juggernaut, isn't it? And it's great for Chile. Like, you don't want to fall into a complacent mode of just going, oh, let's just trade this one out. They're going to be absolutely hunting to get one more break to just about put this one to pay. And at the point of a tournament, when you're playing for placing, it's reasonable to expect that these teams are equitable standard at the moment. We've gone six months of the season to the point where these two teams have had roughly the same win-loss record all year.
Yeah.
So evenly matched. So it's only got to take 1 or 2 breaks to be the difference for Eriksson. Evans coming under. Kelly riding his tail. Doyle. Another under. Wilson streaking across the field. Phillip. Loosely guarded there by White. Menzies. 33 to goal. White had a good sniff of that inside there.
Nice bid.
So did Hall. Long wide shot into the lap of Evans with Kelly on his tail. Ash Evans causing a little headache for the the Chile defense at the moment, but it's good enough for Juggernaut to be putting their O points in right now.
Yeah, take
Chile
it.
are doing it probably a bit more direct and clean.
But you see Chile with the bids. They're the team playing with the defensive intensity of being 2 breaks down.
Yeah.
You know, they're the one you saw consecutive throws, consecutive bids. Kelly even wanted to get around Evans on that one, but earlier in the point on that under. And Simon, you were talking about the nature of both of these teams. And I'm not a big one for this, but the strength of the sport in the southern region within Victoria, you've got 3 teams in the top 4. Obviously, Ellipse is playing later today, Chile and Juggernaut. Both of those, Chile and Juggernaut in particular, probably had a bit of time down towards the beer brackets, but they'll both be very happy with the campaigns they've put together this season. Yeah,
both have rebuilt a bit over the last few years with some older players. Not necessarily moving on from the club, but moving on to other opportunities within the club. And the young players who, a couple of years ago, were 20, 21 years old, playing those beer bracket games, but are now 24, 25 years old and leading their teams now.
It's a good sign of the development of the sport. Whoever's doing all of the administration and development down in Ultimate Victoria, Simon deserves a medal.
I'm sure he might get that one day, but
doesn't do it for the accolades, does he?
Never. In the meantime, Wood. Turner. Well covered options around the disc here. Osman having to come in. Evans. Wood's gone deep. He's got the step on Castellano. This is going to float. Eichner comes across, but not soon enough. Riley Wood, I think, with his 4th goal, perhaps. Another direct shot, getting it to the end zone. Hot Chili, efficient offense. I think having 3 strong clubs in City, Andrew, can force a lot of competition within the clubs to be better, not only on the field but off the field. Like all clubs are doing a lot in development, in terms of retention of players, competing with each other for the same talent. Forces everyone to be better at everything. Whereas sometimes if you just have one club in a city or one strong club in a city, it can be a bit complacent. Players is either you come to us or you don't.
Yep.
And so players having a choice in Melbourne means there's a lot more competition, and have their local competition as well. Lots of inter practice matches. Just makes everyone better.
Yeah, also helped by the fact you get a dingo blow in from Austin, Texas at the 11th hour to play with his brother in Mark Evans. That that doesn't hurt. But you're spot on. I think, the fact that they're able to scrimmage against each other, as much as they want, really, only means good things for both of them. Means good things for not just the camaraderie and stuff, because I mentioned off the top, this has been a bit of a storied rivalry, sometimes a bit more chippy than other times. I think it's in a pretty good space right now.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens over the next 6 points. But it means good things from a seeding perspective for the following year as well. So it's genuine when you want to see them do well, because there is a bit of self-interest attached to it.
Strong. Savannah Dam. Ryan with the close attention on him.
Oh, heard the footsteps. He heard the footsteps, Simon.
Heard Dave Hall coming in, thought this lad's going to fly, and a foul called on the throw.
Not sure that.
And Duran saying, yeah, I did. Maybe he's just signalling.
Oh, that's a big let-off, because I don't think that affected the throw.
Yeah.
That was just a cold drop.
Duran's accepted the call, though, so...
Yeah.
He said, I clearly chopped you, but... Easy to accept those calls when you're 3 goals up. Nah, that felt like a stab at Narayan's integrity. I'll withdraw that statement. Trong.
Nice cut.
Going up the line. Evans, there you go. Coming under. He took that 2 steps deep. Forced that deep coverage. Took the under. Doyle with another under. Menzies going deep. Phillip going deep. This will get worked continually up that high side. Henriksen.
Good cut.
Evans bowling over Miller. Offensive foul called. Keep your eyes on Josh Phillip, just to the right of screen there. He's got the match up from Dave Evans at the moment. I think probably give Phillip the pace advantage, but it's just going to be on position of where this next throw goes, on what space Phillip will attack. So Evans and Miller talking this out. It's about whether advisor Aiden turn there. So contested offensive foul. Doesn't do a lot in changing the field position and possession of the disc.
A big get out of jail free card if Juggernaut can hold.
There you go, Phillip getting possession. Yeah, 23 from goal. Wide to Trong. Has time to watch it all the way in. Phillip. Doyle heading to the high side.
Nice throw, nice break.
Handlers pointing upfield. Wanting more action from the cutters. Got a small ball. Regaki laying out.
Still got
Trong holding his ground. Phillip heading up the line. Well covered by Evans that time. Savannah Dam heading up the line. Narayan's gone big. Savannah Dam has closed his hands around that one. Few hands going up. Everyone looked at the game advisor, and the game advisor saying, this is your decision, fellas. So, again, like you said, Chile are the ones playing like they're down at the moment. There's so much heat on everything at the moment. Players bidding, players laying out, tight, closely checking on the mark. And so it's all well and good for Juggernaut to continue to put in their offensive holds.
Yeah, you just want to see a bit more mongrel.
Yeah.
Like spirited, right? Keep it spirited, whatever.
Yep.
But no one's really stepping up and firing a shot from Jugger. So, because it's the 48-year-old Polish fellow that's bidding and having a dip. It's not.
Your early 20s fellas with a point to prove.
Yeah. He's still got it. He's come along nicely, 42. He's got a lot of potential.
Return to his favourite seat. Never likes to spend too long on his feet, Regaki. Keep his legs fresh. So out there for defence.
It's probably working for him.
We have Eichner, Trong coming across the defence. Della, Castriano, Liu, Du, Sweeney. Offense for Chile at this point. With Regaki off, they've got Lipari coming. Lipari and Turner coming across to play some offense. So we've got Osmond, Christie, French, Turner, Evans, Wood, Lapari. So Lapari will stay behind the disc. Evans will start downfield. He'll eventually drift back behind the disc and probably look for maybe Osmond, Wood. But we have seen Wood and Christie go from the handle space to the deep space quite a number of times this game. So it'll be up to Juggernaut to keep their eyes on that. But they're doing that because they're trying to draw Della out of the deep space. Della, you'll see him come into a view on the right there in the red hat. He's got the Osmond matchup at the moment. I don't think he'll keep that matchup, Andrew. So Paul landed out of bounds. Wood takes a free throw to Christie. Turner under. A lot of close action from the stack here to this near side. They'll need to move it either up the line or to the high side. Wood.
There it is.
Turner didn't have a lot of choice there. Sweeney takes a shot to Lockie Eichner. He reels it in. And there's the break we need, Andrew, to keep this game alive. Superb pressure around the disc.
That's one. That's the first one. They're going to need to do a few more, but we finally, after 12 hot chili points, we finally see a break put in from Juggernaut, and you just wonder what that can do for the energy. It was a turn. It was also a turn around the disc. It was a turn that they only had probably 10 metres to have to work in, so it was where they turned, it was as important as the turnover itself.
That turn happened because the first pass got taken to Christie on this near side. As we said, a shot from Sweeney. He had both sides of the end zone to shoot at. Eichner, just that explosive speed meant he could then just jog it in and be certain of it. But the first pass to Christie, yep, sure, got him to this near side, but then the Chile stack collapsed to the near side. And once Turner got the disc, he had 5 or 6 defenders within a 10-metre radius and all his cutters outside that, just outside that radius. Everything was well covered by Juggernaut on that inside space. He had to go backwards. That was the only shot he had.
Yep.
And he's just put too much on it. Again, he was throwing it into the wind as well.
Yep.
Very, very, very difficult throw.
And it was a really strong mark as well.
Yeah.
So can they put 2 in a row? It's now on Chile to respond, and they've put the big dog out there, Regaki.
Charging down to the mark. He's got the Regaki matchup. So Regaki, 46 from goal. Puts a long shot up, looking for Evans. Trong going short, taking the clean intercept. Getting play started quickly. Eichner. Evans closely guarded. Trong, Sweeney. Not much coming towards Sweeney. Winds up. Trong well covered by Evans.
Oh.
Pick called. Also contact call. So everyone's read the rule book. So stoppage there. Now this is tricky areas because Sweeney only has one real look here. He's got Della versus Osmond. Tron could be coming under, but Evans has got position on him.
I wouldn't mind seeing Ash go.
Yeah, I think.
It might be. It's going to come in on 0, Simon.
Oh, right, okay. So that's a huge let out. So this stack needs to come under. Della will stay out in that handler space, looking for the reset. Good look. Yep, Evans. Here's the look. Trans going, Doo's going. Eichner under. Good switch there by Evans. Trong free in the middle. Has to go high. That was a tough one.
Big let off.
Regaki picks up the disc. Centre field, just over halfway to goal. Osmond coming under, opening up that deep space. French heading deep. Evans flashes across, back to middle field. Regaki heading deep. Evans showing that forehand. French is going to have to go high. That was a very, very high throw, getting pushed downwind. French uncertain of where he was on the field, couldn't fly. And Juggernaut will get the disc. Roughly 60 metres from goal, pinned to the sideline. Sweeney to pick it up. Horizontal setup here. So Wilson Tran to be the opening cut, flashing across the field, clearing space. Trong, Dello isolated, one out, Do. Evans unguarded.
Eichner's gone.
That's a great shot, low and flat, into his lap. Lockie Eichner, 2 goals in a row.
Oh,
Has
here we
brought
go.
this game alive.
We got a game. Juggernaut taking the disc off Chile consistently. They've struggled to even get the disc off him now twice in that point.
Yeah. I think it was, might have been Pat Christie, I think, was peeling off Ash Evans to have a bit of those swing passes. So again, it's aggressive defense by Chile, but now Juggernaut are finding their way through it. You can see Christie peel off. Oh, so Evans wasn't his man. So Evans was just left unguarded.
Yep.
So taking advantage of the switching there. So Chile have called a timeout. And the score, 12 apiece. 100-metre caps here, so 15 minutes from cap. We're not going to have to bother with that, I don't think. And you can just about reset the score and tell your lads it's first to 3. So we're only going to see a maximum of 5 more points in this game, Andrew.
Yeah, gone are the days that we were commentating with Greenie throughout the weekend. He gave the old back in my day. It used to play to 21. Oh. Nats. So
with no time cap, I believe.
Yeah.
This just be game to 21 and
no thanks.
Yep.
Yep. Not for me.
Yeah, I've seen a few games here this weekend extend out to nearly close to 2 hours.
Yeah.
One game for all teams today. It's just go for it.
Yeah, we did obviously Division 2 Nationals a couple of weeks ago. They go to 12 or 13?
13.
13. I don't mind it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
For more of its sprint-paced games, but they'll be playing 3 games a day.
Yeah.
So probably roughly similar load, but
it makes a difference, and it makes every goal, because obviously there are fewer goals. The ones that you do score are that much more important. As we hear Chile's sideline come to life, they're backing their team in.
You can see all of the Juggernaut players out there listening to the line call. You can tell when you can tell when things are starting to become hectic and how involved the sideline players get. Early on, they're sticking in the shade, sitting down in their stools, being quiet. Yep. Everyone will be staying on their feet for the rest of this game. So Tom Della, been very, actually no, I won't say it.
Oh, you pretty much said it now.
Very consistent with his pulls here today.
Brick incoming. Now this is safe, Simon. This one's all good.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
It's okay. It's okay. Ooh, what a pull!
Okay. It has pinned them in their back corner. Ragaki to Christie. Still deep in their own end zone.
Shouting Callahan on the hot sideline.
Ragaki winds up. He's got Turner with Castriano as the matchup. That's drifting. Trong's going to get there as well. Plenty of players underneath it. Turner goes. Have fingertips on it. But 3 players from Juggernaut were involved. So a foul's been called, there would have been contact in there, I think, as we take a look. Castriano goes up. We have Napolitano coming in hot as well, I think. Yeah, so Napolitano cleaned up at the end. I don't think Turner has a problem with that one. But I think he's maybe saying, and we can see it, like there was a little bit of elbow from Castriano on Turner. So, game advisor Steve Baker over there. Assisting. They're just going to talk it out. I mean, it's, you can say whether it affected, whether it didn't affect, but it is a non-contact sport. The game has been quite physical up to this point, but without encroaching. So, Castriano Turner happy to listen to other perspectives. Michael Trong sharing what he saw. He got in there close as well. Osmond also sharing. So you hear the whistle goes, which is just a signal to the player that you've been chatting for 30 seconds now. It's not enforcing them to make a decision, but it's a bit of an encouragement to say, let's not be here all day.
Let's get a wriggle on, yeah.
Yep. Both leaning into each other a bit, but I think this will go back, Andrew.
I reckon if I was a betting man, which I am,
yeah,
it'll go back.
Typically, the longer a discussion goes on, it means we're not going to find. Yeah, we're not going to find a reasonable solution. I think that's a good outcome. I think both players are okay with that.
Yep.
I mean, we've got the benefit of being able to look at multiple angle replays,
slow it down.
And even then, we're saying, ooh. So, having to decide what happened in real time after you've just sprinted 50 metres can be a bit,
and
can be a bit different.
Having the advisors is handy as well to just give that dispassionate
that
view.
Unbiased through. So
I wonder what the other thing that we'll keep an eye on. It'll be interesting to see what the count's coming in on. So
yeah,
I reckon Tom's trying to say that Sweeney was too far away to have a count. So 4.
So Chile's still in their own end zone. Rigaki will probably at least fake a huck here. He's got Evans versus Trong. That could be the shot, I think.
And the wide outlet to Aussie might.
Yeah. So Della wants to be standing up for this one, not hands on knees. Evans. Christie shooting deep now. Osmond flashing across. Well covered by Della. Inside shot to Turner. Turner looking to get it to Wood or Evans. Trong getting involved. Evans shoots up the line. Rigaki's got 2 to beat. He's almost got 3 to beat. Legs tripping everywhere.
Big!
Caleb Liu. He's gone in there, but clipped his arm of the way through, I think, Andrew. So another call made. Not often we see Rigaki tumble to the ground. So again, game advisor's in good position. Dale. Yeah, so we saw Feet get tangled up, and I think it was Sweeney might have hit the deck, but then Leo came in hot. Definitely got his arm. Just whether Rigaki had already had a bite at it. I think that foul seems reasonable, Andrew. But again, we've got the benefit of close-up replays thanks to the crew at ULTI.TV who are doing an incredible job at this coverage.
As always.
This weekend.
Wouldn't expect anything else.
Don't know why you'd go with anyone else. So, still talking it out. We're still padding for time.
Do this all day. Here we go. Great angle of it here. So, yeah, so I think you say that Caleb clipped maybe a bit of his shoulder.
Yeah. Right before the catch too. So right at the moment where Caleb definitely got the disc a fraction beforehand, but it's about whether he could make that play without making contact.
Yeah.
Which he couldn't have. Yeah, so contested again. Yeah, so until I saw that angle of Liu actually getting a fingertip on the disc, I would have said clear foul, but I think contested. And I mean, as the chat goes on, if you're uncertain about it, send it back to the last place you knew who had the disc. So Evans will say the disc trumps.
Maybe just let him catch it there.
Yeah.
Mike. Yeah. 6. Geez, that's a quick 6.
Yeah, so Evans is immediately looking in field. He wants to get it to Turner or Wood. Wood will double back head up the line. There we go. Shot's gone. He's gone to Rigaki again. This time, Rigaki's got position. In comes Sweeney. Beautifully played there by both Juggernaut players. Trong. Winds up to shoot, finds Eichner. Eichner's got Napolitano deep. He's got Sweeney go up the line. Trong. Where's the contact? Della's one out in the end zone with Christie. Castriano now. Centres. 25 from goal. Continuation to Eichner. Eichner's got Liu one out, but Rigaki was there ready to buy it. Liu's come cross back to the middle of the field, looking to the high side. Pick called. No arguing about that call. So disc will remain with Caleb Liu. Yeah, 8 metres from goal. For Juggernaut to take the lead for the first time this game. Sweeney doubles back. Not in yet. He's got Della one out with Christie. Can't get free. Sweeney looking board. He's gone short into Michael Trong for Juggernaut's 13th goal, and they hit the lead.
And a massive point. Multiple calls, multiple shots. But Simon, you called it well. Sweeney and Lou working together as a kind of deep unit, 2-on-1 on Gak on multiple occasions. Got it that second time. Lou kind of wearing the body of Gak, Sweeney coming in with the swipe.
Yep. You're there to make a play on the disc, but yeah, 2-on-1, it means you can have one player sort of, get in there and go early as you can, but it just meant that Sweeney could just have his own clear run at it rather than have to try and go into
Body
the pack.
a 6'6" guy.
Right, well, I'm just going to go early. It was very good by him to take it at the peak of his leap. So 13-12. Padraig Sweeney throwing the goal there after getting the block. Second assist now for Sweeney. So 13-12. As time ticks up.
Carlip MVP for mine on that point.
For sure. So you see the number of turns are starting to creep up there, Andrew, but a lot of them is through defensive pressure rather than offensive mistakes.
And really the last time we looked at that graphic, the breaks read 2-0, now 3-2 to Juggernaut's favour.
The number of clean holds is unchanged from nearly unchanged from the half too.
So now we'll see if Chile can respond.
We saw 14 holds earlier in the game. Now we've only seen a couple since the half.
Oh, this one
Pull lands out of bounds. Chile will take the brick. Have not signalled it, but we'll assume that they have. U-Stack, we've got Hall and Lipari near side. We've got Kelly, I think Turner there, high side. Eyes on Lipari, bottom right of screen. They're leaving him free at the moment, so Trans left Lipari free to just close up space in the middle. Returns to his player now, Wood. Hall's gone deep. Lipari.
Nice up the line.
Good distance on that one too. Lots happening around the disc now. Wood having a retreat, go backwards. Kelly almost back to halfway. Not much happening in the stack, pick called. So Chile's set very deep here at the moment. They're going to want to have maybe cuts come from the back, pull their stack under because there's no real clear shot at the end zone, not with Della patrolling. So Bleeser at the front of stack, telling his charges, I think exactly what I just pointed out. You're all a bit too deep, lads. So expect a recycle. Eyes on Wood, front of stack. Match up with Eichner there. Christie can't get free of Do. Lipari can't get free. Evans with the disc now.
Good coverage.
Kelly well covered up the line. And another pick called. Has turned a loop around the front of the stack. Doyle having to slow down to avoid the collision. Turner's like, I was very free, lads. Well, that's definitely a pick, so.
Yeah. And the chat between Evans and Trong.
Yeah. I think Doyle and I think it's just about whether whether the pick happened or was called before or after the throw. So not only are they talking about that in the stack, they're talking about at the disc as well. It's really become a game of inches. So pick call will stand. Back to the thrower. So Turner being asked, well, where? Like I didn't see where you were, Doyle. So you got to tell me where I was. So.
Yeah.
It'll be back to where Turner was at the time the pick happened, which was as he was circling around the front of the stack. So Evans without a dump at the moment. He's going to look up line for a couple, I think, and then wide. Turner open this time. 20 from goal. Evans struggling to get free of Trong. Under a lot of attention. Having a good look at the end zone. Wants to go crossfield. Puts the long shot up. Della getting up. Lipari having to go full stretch, can't reel it in. Juggernaut possession, Doyle. 58 from goal.
And this is desperation stuff from
Free player
Chile.
somewhere. Trong. Do having to get up high. Not much activity happening here. Eichner stumbling on the way through. Hall's gone, the big layup here in front of Della. Got possession back. We heard the siren go, Andrew, so if this goes in, we'll be into universe.
Game-saving block, keeps Chile alive, keeps them in it.
Wood. Having a good look at the high side. Turner, Wood, resetting the count. Christie heading to that high side. Juggernaut's got this high side well covered. Watch out for those backhands though. Evans getting free as Trong stumbled. Wood gets it in close. Dave Hall with the goal after getting the block. 13 all.
We're going to universe, Simon.
We have it as game to 14. It's just going to be up to the teams whether they're aware of that, because we heard the siren. It's a bit difficult to hear it when you're into the game. So Steve Baker, a game advisor, getting there, I think letting him know. But game-saving block there, as you said, from David Hall. Just he knew, I think Della had just pulled up.
Yeah.
Hall held back until the throw went up and then just launched himself. As you see there, Della not quite getting the block, but forcing Lipari to have to go earlier than he would have liked. You can see here, Hall.
Great D.
Yeah, Della moving lateral instead of towards the disc. Just set that up for Hall to take that inside line. Great form of that layout too. As you can see, Evans faked Trong to cover that forehand. There was just that small inside shot that just opened up space at the front of the stack, catching everyone out of position. Great movement there by Riley Wood. So here we go. 1 goal to score. Someone's going home with the bronze medal. Someone's going home empty-handed. Not only that, bragging rights to one of these teams for the next 12 months. Sahil Patel out there calling his line. We've got Hall, Christie, I think that's Dignam, Turner, Lipari, Evans, Osman, Rigaki on the bench, interestingly enough.
Yeah, and for Juggernaut, Ash Evans, Henriksson, Wilson, Savannah, Menzies, Trong, and Josh Phillip.
So they're sticking with backing in their offensive line. Wilson traps the pull, Savannah. Space through the middle, Trong well covered, Evans. Trong one out on the high side, Menzies flashing it across. Evans looking to his reset, goes low, Savannah. 38 from goal. Phillip working down the corridor, not using a lot of the field. Menzies with Christie on his hip. 15 from goal now, backwards to Phillip. David Hall gets a hand in, swats it away.
They're going to run and gun.
Mark Evans picking it up. Everyone heading past him. He has to take his time. Puts the long wide shot to Nathan Dignam. Over the top. The wind's popped it up. At the last second there. That is a massive let out.
It looks safe all the way, but you called it. It just bobbled a little bit over Dignam.
Rowan Savannah 31 from goal. Puts a wide throw out. Wilson's going to have to work. Gets it. Under. Trong. Under attention there from Nathan Dignam. Chile being on everything. Wilson looks low side. Back to Trong. Cuts have dried up. It's only handler move at the moment. Evans has gone deep. Wilson looking low side. Menzies is free down here. No one's seen him yet. Trong up the line. Can't get free. Looking at that front corner. Over the top, Michael Trong. Into the back corner. Juggernaut has stolen this.
And the next chapter in this story rivalry has been written. It's Juggernaut taking home the bronze over their crosstown rivals, Chile.
What a game. Absolutely fantastic game between two evenly matched teams. Chile absolutely despondent last year. They took out the bronze medal game. So for this, it's not meeting expectations. Whereas Juggernaut, it's been a number of years since they've been in the top four, Andrew. They were down throughout the season after poor results at Victorian Championships and Canberra Cup. But they have dug deep when it counted.
Yeah, in their quieter moments, I think even they would admit that they probably didn't anticipate a third place finish.
Yep.
I think both teams should be very proud of the campaigns they've put together. It's going to be tough for Chile, especially in such a close game where they did have the ascendancy, 2 breaks to 0 in that first half.
Yep.
So that's a bit of nightmare fuel.
But I think for them, what they've established this year is that last year was not a one-off. Them making the top 4 last year, that wasn't a fluke. Once this happenstance, two's the plan. So I think they've established themselves as a regular fixture in this top 4. And given the age profile of their team, will still be contending for a national championship over the next 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, it had a bit of ticker about them. I mean, you called it in that last point. There were still bids. I mean, they had the disc, which again, that's going to be tough to reflect on. But bidding up until that last throw.
5 assists, 2 goals there from Jake Wilson. One of the best individual games he's played. And look, I said earlier we might not go the distance, but we did. Michael Trong, 1 block, 3 turns, but 3 goals and 2 assists. Those turns coming under heavy defensive pressure from Chile.
Yeah, he wore a shadow all day. There were a lot of bids flying past his shoulder.
And of course, that's just one game we have today. We have 2 more games coming for you on the free stream. We've also got the premium stream happening. Not too late to buy a AUC All Access Pass. As we would have just said, the Open 5th place happened there. Then the women's bronze medal game there today. You'll be able to watch all those games on demand, and I highly recommend getting it because there have been some absolutely cracking games on both fields. And it also supports ULTI.TV being able to put on multiple streams at championship events like they have this weekend. I think that's it for me this weekend, Andrew. We'll be hearing from you during the finals. Thanks for tuning in. Go Ultimate.
In the name of giving more, we're offering access to more games via our YouTube membership plan.
More action.
More of the best teams, more of the action, more ways to watch.
ULTI.TV.